It was mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari on the authority of Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, on the authority of the Prophet, may Allah's prayers and peace be upon him. In the old days, a man wanted to sell his house because he needed money in order to pay off his debt. So he searched for a buyer for him until he came to a man and he liked the house. So he prepared to buy the house and pay the price. The agreement was reached and the sale contract was concluded between them. The house had a large garden. The man decided to plant some trees in it. He took his axe and began to work, and while he was digging, he found a jar buried in the dirt. He extracted it, he opened it, and found it full of gold. The man shouted, "What a precious treasure! I must return it to the owner of the house. He is more deserving of it, and I have no right over it." The pious man carried the jar and went looking for the man from whom he bought the house, and when he found him, he put the jar in his hands and said to him, "I found this jar of gold in the garden of the house you sold me. Take it, it belongs to you." The seller replied, "It's not mine. I sold you the land with everything in it." The buyer said, "I bought a house from you, not gold." The seller replied again, "But I sold the house with everything in it." Allah Almighty has given them sustenance, and each one of them had to pay to his owner. The two men argued, and each of them refused to keep the jar. And they were judged by a righteous judge who was smart and tactful, looking at the light of Allah, so Allah blessed him with good understanding and insight. The judge was astonished by the two men and said to them, "How amazing are you that I have never seen two honest men like you in my life." Then he asked, "Any of you both got a child?" The seller said, "Yes, I have a boy." And the buyer said, "Yes, I have a maid." The ruling was a man of opinion and knowledge. So he found his desire when he learned that the first had a boy and the second had a maid servant who had not yet married. So he issued his ruling and said, "Get the boy and the maid married and spend it on them as charity so they can become a righteous family." Because of their good intentions and their honesty, Allah blessed them with this blessed marriage, and they made the spouses happy with this treasure.